This episode brought to you by masks and hand sanitizer. Just finish up this awful pandemic. Hey, everybody, it's me, Wait, who are you? You're from the future. It'll all make sense. Okay, but anyway, welcome back to the Benson Show! Hello, I'm Calvin Ross, and I would like to welcome you to this video. And here I have some happy little paintings. They have left an impact on so many people and are truly amazing. But as any piece of art, there will always be evil artists that try to take your idea. And I'm tired of pretending to be Bob Ross. But anyway, I'll be doing a list of the worst movie ripoffs, mostly focusing on the ripoff company, the Asylum. So without further ado, let's get into the list. Top 20 dumb Asylum ripoff movies. Number 20, Freak Show. You might be like, what is this film ripping off? It's ripping off one of Stephen King's best movies, Creepshow, if not his best movie. Yet, the film is barely mentioned in modern pop culture. But for fans like me, we know what it's ripping off. But it is weird why out of the many Stephen King films, the Asylum chose to rip off the least known one out of all of them. But I guess that it's kinda harmless since it did horribly and barely anyone knows this ripoff exists. But the reason this is number 20 is because nobody can really own the idea of a collection of short horror stories like they did it in Tales from the Crypt, VHS, The Twilight Zone, Cat's Eye, another Stephen King horror anthology. So, can't really blame them. But don't worry, there are way worse ripoffs throughout this list. Number 19. Warning, slight blood in this category. So, if you are allergic to blood... Wait, that doesn't make any sense. If you have bloodophobia... That's not me. Okay, you know what. Just that scene from The Simpsons, stabby stabby. You can guess what this movie is ripping off. And if you don't, it's obviously Halloween. Not the holiday, the movie from 1976. Well, then they also made a reboot. Well, no, it wasn't a reboot. It was a direct sequel to the original Halloween movie that came out in 1976, but it was still called Halloween. So the sequel to Halloween was called Halloween, but not a sequel holiday, not like a different holiday. Okay, this is confusing. And this was entirely improvised. This wasn't even in the script, so... Which arguably is also ripping off the Friday the 13th movie. But this ripoff is more than a replica than a ripoff. Just take out everything good in the first Halloween movie, and you can guess everything that happens in it, like any bad slasher movie. That's probably the best thing I can say about this flick. Just a dumb slasher movie. Enough said. Number 18. Atlantic Rim and its somehow sequel. How can they make a sequel? I say somehow cause, how did it get a sequel? If you don't know what movie it's ripping off, it's a duology. I think that's what it's called, duology. Do-lo-G, meaning when talking of a film and its sequel. A duology of movies called Pacific Rim about robots versus monsters. It's really cool. I actually think the movie would be less bad if they hadn't tried to trick you into thinking it was good. Look at the poster. That looks pretty awesome. But in the actual movie, the robots look nothing like they do on the poster. And when people realize what a bad film they're watching, they can't do anything since they already bought it. And I'm convinced that 80% of the movie's budget went into that poster. This film is as bad as Pacific Rim 2 was bad. Boom. Number 17. 200 miles per hour and Street Racer. The reason I hate these more than other ripoffs is because the Asylum literally ripped off the same movie twice. And it wasn't even that good of a movie. Did the Asylum think that if they tried ripping off twice, they would be able to make 8 sequels and a spin-off like the real Fast and the Furious franchise? Plus they're also making, 2 more. It's one thing to rip off a movie. It's one thing to rip off more movies. But ripping off the same movie twice? If you're gonna rip off a movie, at least rip off a different movie. You've already sabotaged the first Fast and the Furious movie for me. Isn't it like beating a dead horse? But anyway, if you want to watch a car or a racing movie, do not watch these. Number 16. The Terminators. Wow, the company that made Terminator should have really copyrighted the name. I mean, they literally put the in front of Terminator and added an S. And literally all the robots in the film look exactly like the real Terminator. But you know what? This film is clearly not trying to entertain, so I refuse to give this piece of trash any attention. Number 15. Ghost Hunters. Man, what was it? Slow rip-off day at the Asylum? I mean, the Ghostbusters reboot wasn't exactly a big success. So it wouldn't make sense to rip off the film the same year the movie came out. The best way this rip-off could make a profit is if somebody mistakes it for the original Ghostbusters movie. But this movie can't be hated too much, because there are many other Ghostbusters rip-offs, like this old Ghost Hunter video game handheld thing. That's like an LCD one. Spook Chasers, the real Ghostbusters, and Ghost and Filmation's Ghostbusters with a monkey. What? Seriously, this is all improvised. What the frick is a Ghostbuster monkey doing that? It's garbage, does not deserve any attention at all. Number 14. Sunday School Musical. This is a ripoff of the High School Musical movies. This movie is different from the other ripoffs, because the Asylum is just doing what Disney is doing to the High School Musical movie. Let me explain. Disney has made it into a quadrilogy of 4 movies, 2 and more video games, lots of toys, and a spin-off series. And there's 2 more movies in the works. Just with a bunch of teens singing. God. And the Asylum has just made 1 ripoff film. So the Asylum basically profited off High School Musical less than the company that made it. But other than the title, it's just another musical movie set in a high school. It could even pass for High School Musical 5. It's on par with these later movies. There isn't much to talk about, except it's just so boring. So I'll just go to the next one. Number 13. Triassic World. A ripoff of the 2015 movie Jurassic World. Again, this is where I'm sure that 80% of the movie's budget went into the poster. I mean, first look at the poster, then look at a dinosaur in the movie. It looks horrible! It somehow looks worse than those TikTok CGI gifs. How could a movie CGI look worse than twerking Thanos? And even the actors don't know what movie they're in. Like in this scene. He calls it the Jurassic Park Labs. It's called Triassic Labs in the movie. And there was only 1 dinosaur in the entire film. And again, the special effects in the movie are so horrible, a first-year film student can make better effects. Like this YouTube video has unbelievably better effects. And it's a YouTube video! And the scariest thing in the entire movie is the Asylum logo. We might not all agree that Jurassic World is good, but we can all agree this movie's crap. Number 12. The Adventures of Aladdin. Wow, it's one thing ripping off a movie, but they made a ripoff of a remake of an animated film based off an old tall tale. If you're gonna rip off Aladdin, rip off the original freaking movie, dummy. I see in the poster I used. This is another improv, and I see Winnie the Pooh and some random kid are there. Past me. Why'd you use a fake poster? Whatever. And this is another example of how Disney should have really copyrighted the name Aladdin. The Asylum literally just put The Adventures of in front of the name, and suddenly it's a new movie. The Adventures of is one of the most stereotypical things to put in a movie title. And you may be saying, why are you calling this a ripoff? Nobody owns the rights to the classic Aladdin story. But here's the thing. It could be a new original take on the classic story, but they do the exact same thing the remake does. And in the movie, Aladdin has lots of friends. They couldn't even get the one character trait of Aladdin right. We may not agree that the remake was good. I personally think it was okay. But we all agree this movie is freaking awful. It is so bad, critics haven't even rated it yet. Number 11. The Asylum's animated movies, which include The Little Cars in The Great Race. A Cars ripoff, obviously. Izzy's Way Home, a Finding Dory ripoff, and Homeworld, an Onward ripoff. Might think this is cheating, but they are all so similar, I'm just going to put them together in one segment. They don't even deserve their own segments on top 20 dumbest Asylum ripoff movies. First, let's talk about the movie The Little Cars in The Great Race. It's a ripoff of the Disney Pixar movie Cars. And first of all, the animation is unbelievably horrible and absolutely terrifying. Look at this. Just put in red eyes and just imagine that watching you as you go into sleep. Wait, is that trying to talk? I'll be here at the end. The end of the video? Of you! But surprisingly, there is worse animation in one of the other animated movies than this one, but it's still freaking terrifying. If you see the design of the cars in Cars looks terrifying, you've never seen the designs in this movie. I mean, look at that one on the left. I mean, just look at one of them is just really cool and all happy, and another one is Lightning McQueen. But I'll just move on so you don't have to look at these anymore. So the next ripoff movie is Izzy's Way Home, a ripoff of the Disney Pixar movie Finding Dory. Again, horrible animation. That fish, that big one looking at the little fish, is gonna do things to that little fish. Things no little fish should have to experience.
You can take a short walk before getting back to your day.
Again, this is absolutely horrible animation. I mean, look at that big fish on the left. He's gonna do things to that little fish. Things no little fish should have to experience. And the Asylum was so lazy, they didn't even bother ripping off the original movie. Instead, they just ripped off the sequel movie. The voice actings are just awful and horrible. The animation is awful and horrible. And creepy as heck. But at least it's better than Food Fight. But I guess that's something we can all say about ourselves. And the final ripoff, the final animated ripoff movie is Homeworld, a ripoff of Disney Pixar's Onward. I hate this more than two other ones because it came out the exact same day as the other one. Its horrible animation explains itself, since they only had a week to make this piece of crap. Instead of boring you by explaining how bad it is, I'll just show you the trailer for the movie. If I'm gonna torture you, I might as well do it this way. Wow, that sucked. As well as these other animated movies. So remember, never buy these movies. But if you do, get out a sledgehammer and destroy it. Warning, do not use a sledgehammer. It's obviously not safe, you dummy. Before number 10, here's a commercial break.
Only 16% of my viewers are subscribed.
Number 10. All the Asylum horror movies, which include Dracula's Curse, a Dracula ripoff, Annalise the Exorcist tapes, a ripoff of Annabelle Comes Home, and The Exorcist, Exorcism of Gail Bowers, an Exorcist ripoff, Clownado, a mix of an It ripoff and Sharknado, Abraham Lincoln vs. Zombies, and Vampires vs. Zombies. You might think this is cheating because I have this many movies in one category, double how many movies I had in the other one. But they're basically the same freaking movie, and not a single one of them are scary. But I don't want this segment to go too long with me talking about all these movies, so I'll just go through them faster. Dracula's Curse, ripoff of Dracula. Not angry at this because it's more like a remake of the black and white Dracula movie than it is a ripoff. Annalise the Exorcist. I hit it more than the other ripoffs because it's a double ripoff. Exorcism of Gail Bowers, ripoff of The Exorcist, but at least it's not a double ripoff. Clownado, a double ripoff of the 2017 movie 2017 It movie. It? Yes, It. What's It? No, It is. What is It? No, it's It. The movie It. No, what is the name of the movie? It is the name of the movie. What is It? I'm so confused. Okay, other me, what is the name of the movie? Okay, the name of the movie. So there's like a book, right? Yes. And this movie is based off a book. Okay? Alright. And the book obviously has a title, right? Yes. And the title of the book, yeah, is It. I am so confused. What the frick is the name of this book based that's turned into a movie? It is. What is It? It is. You got it. It's It. What is it? What is it? No, it is. Oh, well, what is it? A clown? What? No, it's... Okay, It is a clown. What is it? What is it? A clown. No, what is it? Oh, this is gonna take a while. I don't hate this much than the other ripoffs, because nobody really owns the rights to killer clown movies. So I guess it can stand on its own just because it's so hilariously garbage. This may not be a ripoff, but it's so much worse. It's offensive to Abe Lincoln's legacy, but it is kind of funny how awful it is. Like Sharknado. It's so bad it's good. Like the next movie, Vampires vs. Zombies. The name explains itself. Number 9. Snakes on a Train. A ripoff of a B movie, Snakes on a Plane. I'm so tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. Oh. I'm putting this so high on the list because it shows you how many movies the Asylum has ripped off. They ripped off so many movies, they used up all the good ones. So they're like, let's just rip off Snakes on a Plane. Were there really no better movies to rip off? They could have easily made an original Snake movie. But no, they just had to rip off one of the dumbest B movies ever. Whereas the Snakes on a Plane movie was funny how dumb it was. This is just plain bad. Number 8. Three Dev Adam. Now this isn't like the other ripoffs. It isn't ripping off a movie per se, but it is stealing Spider-Man and Captain America and using them without permission from Marvel. Released all the way back in 1973, it was made by the same man who made The Man Who Saved the World, one of the worst movies ever made. But this technically was not made by the Asylum, but remember at the beginning I said most of them would be made by the Asylum. But anyway, the weirdest thing in the movie is that Spider-Man isn't a hero, but instead a psychopathic killer who chokes a woman to death in a shower, stabs a man to death, puts a tube up to someone's eyes and puts a hamster in it, which somehow kills him, kill a lady with a boat propeller, and a bunch more stuff like that. Three Dev Adam translates to three giant men. What the fuck does that mean? So from what I know, the villain is a satanic Spider-Man. And the main characters are Captain America and some wrestler guy. Who I kind of think is if Captain Underpants was a wrestler. Man, Turkey was great at ripping off stuff in the 70s. I mean, this film was literally called Turkish Superman, so... I'm putting this so high on the list because I'm biased towards loving Marvel. I mean, like, a bunch of videos about Marvel. So the movie isn't as bad as the others, but it's still bad. Number 7. Aladdin Quatermain. How do I say it? Aladdin Quatermain. A ripoff of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. I'm putting this so high on the list because they're cashing in on nostalgia. They didn't rip it off when it came out. Instead, they waited until it was nostalgic and profitable. And the titles are super similar. Aladdin Quatermain and the Temple of Skulls, and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And even the main character looks very similar to Harrison Ford. And in the movie, for some reason, there are monsters. And the monsters are ripping off Predator. What? And somehow this piece of garbage got so popular, it got a sequel. How the frick did it get a sequel? How do so many awful Asylum ripoffs get sequels? And I just realized that Asylum has ripped off every Lucasfilm movie. They made Aladdin Quatermain 2, and Battle Star Wars. And they ripped off so many other movies. Number 6. American Warships. A ripoff of the 2012 movie Battleship. They literally made a ripoff of a movie, of a board game, of a true event. And the Battleship movie made less than half of its budget back. So did the Asylum really think it would be a good idea to rip off a movie that sucked on its own? But it is kind of funny that the Asylum has ripped off both of the movies based on Hasbro games, Transformers and American Warships. Hey, didn't I see you at the beginning of the video? Yeah, but this will all make sense at the end of the video. Okay, but anyway, I guess the movie is of the same quality as the movie it's ripping off, as in they both suck. But on the plus side, it's better than Titanic 2. What the frick is that? Number 5. The Terminators. A ripoff of my favorite TV show, The Simpsons, which I recently did a episode where a few months ago I made a video talking about a Lost Simpsons short. You can check that out in the top right corner. And I also have made 3 videos of me reviewing every Simpsons episode ever made. You can view part 1 in the top right corner now, and part 2, and part 3. Click them now, and also they will probably be linked in the description. This is actually the first and only rip-off TV show on this list. It's a Mexican CGI TV show totally ripping off The Simpsons. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about. Man, that sucks. The CGI is awful. It's a terrible TV show in general. So you bet it's one of the worst rip-offs of all time. Number 4. A Cars Life. Sparky's Big Adventure. What? A rip-off of the Disney Pixar movie Cars. Imagine the Cars movie, then take 1/quintillionth of the budget and use it to make a movie of your worst nightmares. That's so creepy. Then you would have made this movie. I mean, just look at the picture from this film. It looks freaking terrifying. And the voices in it are so annoying. Man, now I have an appreciation for the cars in Cars. So if you think the CGI in Toy Story looks bad, you've never seen this movie, dummy. Number 3. All the Asylum Transformer ripoffs, which include Transmorphers, Transmorphers Fall of Man, Transmorphers Robots Invasion, and Hornet. All the ripoffs of the Transformer franchise movies. I'm surprised that this ripoff movie was so popular that it got not 1, not 2, but 3 sequels. Wow. How is this so popular that it could get all these sequels? I mean, I know why the original Transformer movies could get all the sequels. I mean, they're entertaining to some people. But how could this piece of trash get this many sequels? But somehow the CGI got worse in every passing sequel. How is that possible? But there are more times the Asylum has made a rip-off franchise, which I'll be talking about in this next one. Number 2. The Asylum Marvel rip-off cinematic universe, which include Metal Man, The Amazing Bulk, Avengers Grimm, Avengers Grimm Time Wars, and Sinister Squad, which are rip-offs of Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, The Avengers Age of Ultron, and Suicide Squad. Wow. People were angry about the Dark Universe. The Asylum has literally made a cinematic universe out of rip-offs of movies from another cinematic universe. Technically, only Avengers Grimm 2, and Sinister Squad are set in the same world. But I decided to put them all in the same category because they really fit. And Disney should have really copyrighted the name Avengers. Because all the Asylum did was add a word Grimm with 2 M's after Avengers. Because other Avengers Grimm 1 and 2 are the Avengers, but they're fairy tale characters. It's pretty weird. Okay. But thank God the cinematic universe never got any bigger. And the number 1 worst ripoff movie is all the Asylum shark movies, which include, oh sweet God, this is gonna be a lot. Sharknado, Sharknado 2 the second one, Sharknado 3 oh hell no, Sharknado 4 The Fourth Awakens, Sharknado 5 Global Swarming, Sharknado 6 It's About Time, Mega Shark vs. Crocosaurus, Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus, Mega Shark vs. Super Shark, Mega Shark vs. Colossus, Sharktopus, Super Shark, Avalanche Sharks, Dino Shark, Planet of the Sharks, Malibu Shark Attack, Two-Headed Shark Attack, Three-Headed Shark Attack, Five-Headed Shark Attack, Six-Headed Shark Attack, and Sharktanic. That is a real film. These go to show you how the Asylum is so desperate for movie ideas. They make one kind of successful movie. They make 5 sequels and 14 freaking spin-offs, for God's sakes. And the best way to describe the CGI in these movies is that claw scene in X-Men Origins Wolverine. These movies may not be ripoffs, but they're so much worse. But literally all of these movie ideas could be pitched in one sentence. Put sharks in tornado, then have them time travel in 6th movie. And have a shark with 2 heads in the sequels, just add a head. Brilliant! It's like they just had a dumb movie idea and it's just threw some sharks into there. And the first Sharknado was a so bad it's good movie, but now they just have done it too many times. They've just become bad. If you think of any dumb shark movie, it probably came from the Asylum. The CGI is horrible, the acting is horrible, they're all just horrible movies. Just when you thought it was safe to swim, it is, because swimming is better than watching these movies. But on a different note, something I found really weird was that in Sharknado 6, they used time travel. What the heck does time travel have to do with Sharknado? Well, if they can throw time travel into something that they made for no reason, then I will too in this video. Earlier at the beginning of the video. Hey everybody, it's me, Kevin. Wait a minute, who the heck are you? You're from the future. It'll all make sense. Okay, but anyway, welcome back to the Kevin Benson Show. Hey, didn't I see you at the beginning of the video? Yeah, but this will all make sense at the end of the video. Wow, that was weird. My voice kind of changed. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe for more fun content. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!